Today, I'm gonna walk through this townhouse complex and teach you guys everything you need to know about townhouses. It's not one size fits all for townhouse. There are many different types of townhouses, and if you are townhouse shopping, then this video will be very helpful for you. My name is Athar Jafri. I've been selling real estate in Mississauga, in Toronto, and the GTA for more than 20 years, and my goal is always just to make things simple and teach you guys so you guys can make a better decision. So just make sure you subscribe. So first, I want to talk about what types of townhouses are there. So currently, I'm in a condo townhouse complex. So condo townhouse basically just means that there are maintenance fees associated with it, like a condo fee, and that condo fee includes many different things. And a complex like this, the maintenance fee will include the structure of the home, the brick, the windows, the roof, sometimes water, and sometimes even internet. So that is what a condo townhouse is. Sometimes people think a condo townhouse is a condo apartment. No, it is not an apartment. This looks just like a regular townhouse. Then there is something called a townhouse with POTL fees. So it's kind of the cousin of a freehold townhouse and a condo townhouse. There is a fee. It's very minimal. It can be maybe like $100, and it's really just for road maintenance. POTL stands for parcel of tied land. So that's what a POTL fee is. It's just a small fee, mainly just for road snow removal and garbage pickup services that the city would usually do. But in this case, in a POTL townhouse complex, the city does not do it. Then there's freehold townhouses. And again, they look just like these townhouses. Freehold from the outside, you can't really tell a difference. What's freehold, what's condo. But freehold, there's no maintenance fee. You are responsible for upkeep of everything, roof, windows, garage door. It's all your responsibility. And generally speaking, they are more expensive because it's a freehold townhouse, but the style of it is generally exactly the same as a condo townhouse or even a freehold townhouse. They're pretty much the same. Now, when it comes to condo townhouses and even freehold townhouses, there's different styles in that as well. These are traditional 2- and 3-story townhouses. Then you also have back-to-back townhouses where you don't really have a backyard. You're attached on both sides, and also you're attached in the back. So that's why it's called back-to-back townhouses. You know, there's no backyard. Okay, you'll probably have like a front deck, and then behind you is another row completely attached to the back of your property. And then my least favorite, and I hate to say it, is stacked townhouses. Stacked townhouses are more like apartments. Because it is in a building, there's usually not an elevator. You still have front door access, even if you're on an upper level. So stacked townhouse, you'll have somebody living below you, beside you, sometimes even above you, but each unit has a front door entrance. So there's no elevators actually. If you're on a second level unit, you'll have to go up a set of stairs and then you'll see your front door, or you open your front door and then you go up a set of stairs, right? So that's called a stacked townhouse. We already talked about what a condo townhouse is, but I'll just break down what exactly is included and kind of just speak further into what is a condo townhouse. So again, I mentioned it covers the structure of the home, like the brick, the roof, the windows, the garage door, but not always. But what you should be looking at when you're buying a condo townhouse is something called the status certificate. So this is what actually discusses the finances of the corporation, because any condo townhouse is a corporation, right? So it's run like a corporation with a board of directors, and then they have a budget. So you always get something called a status certificate. Same thing in condo apartments, and that kind of discusses where that money is going, how much is being allocated to what, how much they have saved. And if there's any red flags in that condo corporation, that's where you'll find out in the status certificate. Also, one thing I didn't mention is you do get insurance in condo townhouses, and that insurance is building insurance, like a fire insurance, which you always need in freehold properties as well. You need your insurance, but in this case, you're getting the building insurance included in your maintenance fee. That does not include your content insurance. So you still need to get your own insurance in condo townhouses for the interior of the home. Now keep in mind, every complex is different and includes different things in their maintenance fees. So again, that's part of your due diligence phase when you are buying a townhouse, to see what is actually included in that particular maintenance fee. You might be wondering, if there is a condo corporation and maintenance fees, what's included, who's paying for what when it comes to repairs? So when it comes to the exterior of the home, it is the condo corporation's responsibility to maintain it. So technically you should not be paying anything Unless, of course, you drive your car directly into the garage door and you've damaged it, then of course, it's not the corporation's responsibility to pay for it. But inside is a completely different story. Inside is treated just like a freehold home. It's your property. So inside, you gotta fix your furnace. Inside, you gotta fix any plumbing issues. If there's a leak from the outside in, the corporation is not gonna fix the inside. You might have to go through insurance for that. So the inside of the property is still the homeowner's responsibility, but in a condo townhouse, the exterior is actually covered by the corporation, generally speaking. Any natural disaster or something breaks, it's not your responsibility. Now, the reason why snow removal and garbage pickup is included in these maintenance fees is because many times it's not going to be covered by the city. The city will not come into these neighborhoods. They're like privately owned. So the city services for garbage removal and snow pickup is not always there. So when it comes to these townhouses, there are some rules that you might have to follow. For example, you won't be able to paint the garage door any color you want. If the garage door is not included in your maintenance fee, sometimes it's not, then if you want to paint it, it can't be painted any color. It has to follow suit with the style of the corporation. Another thing is sometimes, very rarely in condo corporations, in townhouses, there's pet restrictions, or there might be a restriction on barbecues, or even a lot of times these townhomes, they don't come with a back fence. So it's kind of like open into the common area. And in those cases, if there's no back fence, you would have to get approval from the management to see if you could even put it up, because the management needs access to come into the backyard to cut the grass. Oh yeah, that's another thing. In the condo townhouses, the grass is cut for you. The driveway is not shoveled for you, but the grass is cut for you. Some other rules that you might have to worry about, that if it's in a condo corporation, people ask me, can I rent it? You don't have to worry about it. You could definitely rent it out. It's still your property. It's just like a condo apartment, so you could rent it out. Visitor parking is scarce in townhouse complexes, so you don't have many spots that are available throughout the day. That's one thing that kind of annoys me about townhouse complexes. And if you do want overnight parking for a guest or something, you still need permission from management. So there's usually like an email or a phone number you can call and register a vehicle for overnight parking. Number 5, are there any hidden costs? And what's the true cost of ownership? What's included in all, like, what do you have to pay to own a townhouse? So first, obviously, you have the mortgage. You're gonna have your property tax. But then you also have that maintenance fee if it's a condo townhouse. And that maintenance fee may include water, but it definitely will never include heat and hydro. So you'll have to pay your heat and hydro. Now, I mentioned you do have insurance in there, but you still have to get your own personal content insurance. So you have insurance. And you still have a water tank. Many times it's still a rental. So you'll have to pay for the water tank rental. And any other rental items you might have, like a furnace or AC. But generally, these are the items that you'll have to pay. There's no other hidden costs. In fact, your maintenance fee covers the maintenance of the home. So throughout the lifetime, it's less maintenance for you as well, like physical maintenance or paying for any maintenance. It's much less than a freehold home. Now, another hidden cost, which is not so hidden, is that maintenance fee in condo townhouses, it's always just gonna go up. It never actually comes down. And I've talked about this before, it usually goes at the rate of inflation, right? So you have to budget that in. If you're living there for 5 or 10 years, you can't expect that maintenance fee to stay the same. It is gonna go up yearly, usually, okay? But again, you review the status certificate from beforehand to actually see how healthy this condo corporation would be. So number 6, what should you check when you're buying a townhouse? So obviously you gotta check the status certificate, and that is what talks about all the budget and financing of the corporation. That's going to paint a very clear picture of how healthy this corporation is and where it's going to be in the future. And one thing you got to look at is the reserve fund. How much money do they have saved in that reserve fund? Because if it's ample, then you're okay, because if there's any major repairs, it'll be taken care of with that reserve fund money. You should drive through the entire complex and see how well is it maintained. How good are the roads, the sidewalks, the houses themselves. You should look at the age of the roof. Is that going to come up anytime soon for repair? Because that can affect your maintenance fee. You should look at the windows. Have they been replaced? Because if they have not been replaced and they're approaching the end of their life, it's a big job to change all the windows in the corporation, and will cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not even close to $1 million, if they have to do all the windows in every single unit, right? So the next thing you should also check is the visitor parking. How much visitor parking is there? Is it easily accessible? And many times, if you have a family, these complexes, you can check if it has a park, a private park for your kids to play in. Because many times they do have it, sometimes they don't. But if you're buying a townhouse and you do have kids, double check, is there a private park there for your kids? And lastly, if you are buying a townhouse, what you should check before buying are other complexes, other townhouse complexes in the same neighborhood. Compare the maintenance fees, compare the quality of the build, the neighborhood, and just shop around between different townhouse complexes, because there are a lot of townhouses, townhouse complexes in Mississauga, and each one has something a little bit different to offer you. So finally, number 7 is just my advice if you're buying a townhouse. Don't get so caught up in the maintenance fee. It is important, but take a look at what's being included in that maintenance fee. Take a look at other complexes, as I mentioned before, to compare that maintenance fee. Think about the future resale value, if the layout is usable for someone to rent it in the future, or do you think that layout will be easy to sell in the future? Always, you got to think about the future value when you're buying anything, not just a townhouse. And before you firm up the deal, make sure you carefully review the status certificate. That I can't emphasize how important that is. You have to review the status certificate and make sure that there's no red flags. Your lawyer will review it, your realtor will review it, and you could even review it as well. It doesn't take so long to review. They look at a few lines on it to make sure it all checks out. The last advice I'd give you is the cheapest townhouse doesn't necessarily mean it's going to have the best value. These condo townhouses, they range in Mississauga. They can start from even like around $620,000, $630,000 all the way up to like $900,000. And then there's everything in between. In my humble opinion, the sweet spot for townhouses right now in Mississauga is something around $750,000 for condo townhouses, something around $750,000. These type of townhouses usually have a maintenance fee of anywhere from $300 to $600, but it usually includes everything on the exterior of the home, because there are some townhouses, keep in mind, that have maintenance fees of like $200 that are not POTL, and they don't really include anything. You're just getting insurance, and really that's it. And obviously the common elements. Common elements are like the road, the parking, the parks, if there are any. So you could find townhouses with maintenance fees like of around $250, but you're not getting any structural coverage in those maintenance fees. So remember, when you are buying a townhouse, it's not just the house itself, it's the community, it's the management, it's the location, it's the maintenance fee, and the quality of build, and the layout is very important. We discussed there's 2-story, there's 3-story townhouse, back-to-back townhouses. In my opinion, 2 stories is probably the best townhouse. It's the more traditional feel of a 2-story home, because your basement is not so crammed how it would be in a 3-story home. So I hope this helps you if you are looking to buy a townhouse. If there's anything I didn't hit, drop a comment below. I'll be sure to answer it. And make sure you subscribe if you want to learn more about buying or selling in Mississauga or the GTA. I'm Athar Jafri, a broker with RE/MAX. Until next time.